Lily, jump on stage. There's 12 people in the session. Hey, people, welcome back. John's joined us. John's here. John, it looks like we're
Hello.
doing the session. It looks like we're doing the session anyway because there's 12 people waiting. I thought that they'd all
Yeah.
left on, but they are still very eager. What we might do, because we have another session at 4 o'clock. Lily, jump on for me for a sec, please, if you wouldn't mind. Lily, are you out there? My voice, gosh, my voice isn't great singing
Here I
voice.
am.
Wonderful. Lily, what's at 4 o'clock? What do we have at 4 o'clock? Is that our networking session?
Yeah, level up your networking skills with VPR London's Vashti Iona Beckford.
Okay, so what I'm going to suggest is we do like a really quick talk with John. I'm going to ask John, ask a quick conversation about your background, how you got into AI. We're going to have to keep this really short, and then, but
Okay.
I'm wanting to invite you, John, to come back at a later time. And I want to apologize to everybody. This is completely our fault. We had got the time zones confused. John, you're calling in from Nigeria, aren't you?
Yes.
What time is it over in Nigeria?
Lagos, Nigeria.
Lagos, Nigeria.
3:30.
Right. Okay. I think that there was some confusion with time zones. And there was an assumption that 3 o'clock in Lagos was four or so that's completely our fault and on us. So I apologize, guys. But what this does mean is that we get John all to ourselves at a later stage where we can really dive in. But while we have you, we might as well have a quick conversation. If you guys have got any questions, please throw them into chat. But just to be aware, we've only probably got about 20 minutes with you currently, John. And I know Lily wants to
Okay.
tape something. Because I want to tape something for the podcast, guys, I'm going to ask you to bear with me. I'm going to ask John a question that we're recording for the podcast. And then we can kind of jump into a conversation after that. So please, thank you guys for being so patient with us. John, you've been at the
Yep.
forefront of combining AI with traditional filmmaking. Sorry, John, you've been at the forefront of combining AI technology with traditional filmmaking to reshape filmmaking. How can creators leverage AI to deliver impactful films even when the budgets are tight? Do you have any advice around that?
Yes, I do. So, one of the benefits of AI is that it helps you to do things that were previously very expensive at a very cheap cost. There are AI music generation softwares, there are AI image generation softwares, and previously to do things like that would have cost a lot of money to hire illustrators and all that. But still AI needs the whoever is using AI has to have skills to use it. So it's not that AI does all the work for you. You still have a part to play. You still have a part to play. But one thing I would advise creatives is that there are various tools out there that can help you speed up your workflow. So you think about the processes that you have in the production pipeline, and you ask yourself, okay, how can I speed up the script writing? How can I speed up this and that? And how can I reduce the cost? Because previously, if you are creating a story and you want to iterate, it might take a lot of time to iterate on a story on a particular script. But with AI now, you can iterate quickly. But one thing I advise all creatives is that tell your story. Be the one telling your story. Don't allow AI to control the narrative. Tell your own stories and use AI as a tool to enhance the stories you are trying to tell. So there are various tools available for creatives um to speed up the workflow. So we just have to take advantage of them.
John, what are some of the tools? So, firstly, just introduce yourself and
Yeah.
tell us where you're based and where you're from, because that would be also helpful. We can use that in the podcast as well. I did it back to front. I should have done that first. So, do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us where you're from, and then tell
Yeah.
us how you got involved with AI.
Okay, so my name is John Taiwo. I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm a filmmaker and also a musician, but I focus mainly on filmmaking. So as a videographer and a filmmaker, I've been experimenting with various tools to help me speed up my workflow and become efficient as a creative. But when AI came into the scene, I saw a lot of potential in it. So about 2 years ago, I started delving into AI and what it can do for us as creatives. I saw when the image generation tools came out, and also when the music generation tools came out, and I was like, oh, this can be useful for us as creatives. I don't see AI as something that is here to take over our jobs. I see it as something that is here to amplify our creativity. So I started delving into it, using it for different gigs and jobs that I had to do over the years. For I use it to clean up audio, use it to create music, use it for different tools for different things. Even in graphics, in graphic design, I experimented with AI, and I saw the potential of it. But I'd always wanted to tell a story with AI. I believe that there were some stories that I could tell that were previously expensive. When you think about what it costs to get a mocap suit, or what it costs to create the time it takes to create a 3D character, it's so long. Because previously I delved into those things because I am a very curious creative. So I've delved into 3D, I've tried 2D, and I've always wanted to tell stories with this medium. But when I saw AI come in last this year, I believed that I could tell my story with it, and I began to experiment with it, and that's how Irawa came to be, and other projects that I've done using AI.
Wonderful. I mean, and I see questions already. What are some of the tools that you're using, or some of the tools that you've been that you yeah? What are the most frequently used tools that you are currently using to kind of to produce your work, and what do they do?
So there are different ways to create movies with AI. You can use text to video, you can use image to video, you can use um, motion capture. So it depends on what you're trying to achieve. If you want to work with actors, then you could use tools like Vigo, which help with motion capture. And there's another tool called Motion. This, I think it's Mootion. So it helps with 3D motion capture. There are image to video tools like Kling, like Runway, and then but Kling and Runway also are text to video tools, which means you can type in what you want the video to be, and then it generates it for you. But for for the project I worked on last, it was motion capture. So I worked with Vigo, I worked with Korea, I worked with Korea is an image generation tool. I worked with Suno. Suno helps with music production. So for the soundtrack of the short film, I used Suno to generate the audio and the music. So you can also use 11 labs for
Out of
vocals. You can use
yeah.
11 lab for vocals and also sound effects. So these are some of the tools that I use. But there is a process to which I use them, and that is another long explanation on its own. I did a tutorial on it on LinkedIn. So if anybody wants to check it out, it's over there on LinkedIn. How I
And
used
actually,
AI for my previous project.
what would be really wonderful is that maybe not now, but at some point, if you can put a link somewhere, and Lily will attach it to the resources of this session. Links to your work would
Great.
be fantastic. Links to your AI course, and obviously we're gonna, because we've got such short time with you, we're gonna invite you back later on. And then you can really delve into the various different tools. And just before I forget, Lily, on community online platform, Cassius Koalas has done an amazing book, free online book that you can sign up to. Can you put a link into the chat for our people? I mean, he's broken down like the tools and some of the apps that you can use, like for pre-production, for script writing, for editing, and he's given some suggestions on tools that you can use and some apps that you can use and how best to use them. And that could be a really good starting point for anybody interested in dabbling. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Wow, that was quick, Lily. Thank you very much. Download his free book. And I think he asked us for a donation as well. And Koalas is a really active member of our community. He was traveling at the moment, unless he would have definitely done a session for us. And him and John and Angela, I think AI is a really important talking point at this moment. So you, like, for you, you're based in Nigeria, Lagos, and you're utilizing these
Yeah.
tools. Makes it really exciting. Do you think it kind of just opens up the landscape for filmmakers globally to be able to create these kind of, big cinematic features? Are a lot of content makers in the diaspora or in Africa or in other places now starting to jump on AI, do you think? And how is it changing storytelling, do you think?
I believe that AI filmmaking and AI storytelling will live side by side with the traditional filmmaking techniques. So AI isn't here to take over the usual way things are done, but they will both exist simultaneously. Presently, the way AI is growing. It's going to get better and better. So I believe that it is truly the future of filmmaking, and there is a niche for AI in the industry. And I believe that if we have, as creatives, even if you are not going to be fully into AI filmmaking, there are some things you could use for your traditional filmmaking projects that can still make it amazing and help you to speed up your workflow.
And it's supposed that it levels up the tools, level up the playing field for creators that don't have access or
Yes,
don't
yes, it
traditionally have
does.
access to big studios or the big Hollywood money. Is that, are you noticing, are a lot of your, are you a lot, because I'm noticing here there's a slight reluctance. Some people are obviously jumped on it, but there's a slight reluctance and a concern, like you rightly say, about it taking over your jobs. Among your filmmaking community, are you finding people are really excited about what's happening in AI?
Yeah, the AI filmmaking community is quite small, but it's growing. And it hasn't gotten to a place where it is fully established, but big industry giants are taking note of it. Of recent, I heard that Lionsgate did a collaboration with Runway. Runway is an AI collaboration with Lionsgate, which is a very big move for an industry giant to collaborate with an AI company. Shows that it's part of the future of filmmaking. So we haven't yet gotten there as as a community where there's still so much experimentation, so much to learn, but the results as of now are very promising. And we've seen a lot of AI films that have been so amazing, but we haven't yet gotten like a full length film yet. But I believe that we are getting to that level very soon.
Yeah. Also, do you? So, what would you like? I'm gonna round up because like I'm conscious of time. Oh, actually, I see that Natty's got a question. I'm gonna ask Natty's question, and I'm gonna start to round up. Before I do that, what kind of advice or what suggestions? Whether you got, how would you say to people who are a little bit skeptical about AI or just want to kind of start exploring or testing the ground very gently? What advice or what would you say to them? How would you say that they could start their AI filmmaking journey?
Um, there are a lot of resources out there for AI filmmaking. There are various platforms that are doing a great job at educating people on AI filmmaking. One of them is Curious Refuge. Is a channel on YouTube, and it does a lot of tutorials to introduce people into filmmaking. But what I would say is that AI, it's just a tool to help us enhance our creativity, and be curious to learn, because every field evolves. Even though we have 3D animation, comics books still exist. So AI isn't going to take over the whole landscape, and traditional filmmaking isn't going to, like, it's going to exist side by side. So we shouldn't be afraid of it. We should learn as much as we can about it. And if we feel that this is the way we want to tell our stories, then we can go ahead with that. But if we don't, if we feel that we prefer traditional ways of telling our stories, then go ahead with that. they are just tools to express yourself, and not necessarily to it's not necessary you must be on it, on AI, but just be curious and be open to learn and grow.
Definitely. And I think that in a recent talk that I went to when they were talking about AI, one of the things that I thought was quite profound is that they said, I mean, I'm like maybe a little slightly more extreme than what you're saying, is that AI won't take over your job. It's the people that know how to use AI that will. So you should just really ponder on that thought. It's not AI coming for your jobs, it's the people that know how to use AI that are coming for your jobs. So it's important that you kind of get a sense of the new technology on the horizon. We've got a couple of questions. So Lily, you've got a question. I'm going to show your question on stage. John, can you see that? It says, would love to know more about the sci-fi you created with AI.
Okay, great. The sci-fi I created is Irawo. Irawo is a Yoruba word, which means star. It means star. So I've been my life, and I've always wanted to tell sci-fi stories. In fact, as I've experimented a lot with sci-fi,
Oh,
to
mm.
up the okay, can you hear me?
I was just saying I was having a
Can you
few
hear me now?
problems, but I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, great. So I love sci-fi, and it's something that I I've always wanted to create a story that includes sci-fi. And when I saw the power that AI had, I said I could try this. Irawo is basically a story about the future of Africa in space and in technology. And I truly want to create stories to inspire Africans to see themselves in at the forefront of technology and science, because I love science. Although I'm a creative, I love science so much. I'm intrigued by it. So I that was the reason why I created Irawo. And it so happened that I used AI, which is an advancement in technology, to tell that story. So I'm really proud of it, and there are more episodes to come. We just started the first episode. The next episode will be coming out very soon.
Where we'll be able to see that, can we get a link to seeing that so that we can make sure? We'd love to
I-
see that and follow that journey, track the journey of that. And as you described that, I was thinking Wakanda forever, kind of creating real life Wakanda, the
Yeah,
kind of history that we saw that we were all so beautifully blown and proud of, particularly in the first. I'm not going to talk too much about the second Black Panther, but definitely the first one was delicious. I really loved
definitely the first
the
one.
first. Yeah,
Yeah.
the first one. And yeah, I mean, you're in Lagos making these kind of AI films, and you're here talking to us in London. Has AI kind of really opened up the world to you in terms of, are you finding a lot more global conversations going on? Are people from all sides of the world reaching out as a result of seeing your work?
Yes, yes, definitely. But I, it was um yeah, a lot of people have been reaching out. But one thing I believe is that there's still so much more to come, and I'm just open to more opportunities. And we're working hard to make sure that more episodes are out, so people can see that this is something that is here to stay, and it's not just an experiment. And I hope that the broader community all over the world will pay more interest in it. But we've seen a lot of positive feedback from all over.
No, but that's so great. I see Natty's got a question. I'm gonna put up Natty's question here. Oh, so I wonder if the demographics plays a role on AI creation. Natty, let me invite you to the stage and just see. Oh, be mindful that we, like I said, we want to start the next session on time. Otherwise, we'll have a knock on for the rest of the day. I don't know yet. Natty has joined just really quickly. Yeah, just kind of explain that a little bit more. Oh, is Natty joining us? I think he is. Sorry, John. What happens is we can invite people to join us on stage and ask their question themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose that I'm just wondering the kinds of people maybe that I find that are kind of getting involved in AI. I don't know if that's what, if yeah, just are there are there different types of people getting involved in AI? Are you finding a lot of young people really getting involved? Yes, how big is AI? You're saying it's quite a small community. Is your, outside of your friendship with your peers, are you finding AI being quite used among young people in Lagos, or is it still quite, you're quite new and quite unique in that?
Y- Okay. Infuse AI into cinematography. Like they
Right.
have used it to achieve various things when they are trying to shoot films or music videos and all that. But I haven't seen anyone delve fully into AI filmmaking, which is using AI to create animations. Yeah, there are quite some people, but they are not much. But I've seen a lot of people infusing AI into music videos and all that, using it for specific things in those videos. And so I've seen that, but not necessarily a fully AI animated film. I think that's quite new, and I think it's a growing space.
Yeah, I mean, it's so exciting to kind of see the opportunities that are arising, and I'm really inspired to talk to you in a different, the other side of the world, kind of looking and thinking about what you can be doing with AI and how we can bring all these different stories that we've all got. Do you know what I mean? Together, and like you said, to kind of start looking at, just kind of
Yeah.
delve in, and just kind of get practicing. You'd say, right? Just jump on some of those tools. Is there any tools or any apps are like the first starter role? Like, this is the app that if you want to learn the basics that you should be trying and use. And obviously you're given some kind of resources in terms of YouTubes and stuff like that. But is there an app that is a good starting point for people?
One of the simplest, I think, should be Runway. Although Runway has a lot of features, but it's quite easy to learn if you are open to it. But Runway is one of the best when it comes to AI and videography and cinematography. Runway is one of the best. So you could try that. But for image generation, there's Leonardo AI. Leonardo is quite good, and also Mid Journey. Mid Journey is quite complex, but it's one of the most popular AI image generation tools. But I would say if you want to start, you can start by learning how Runway works. Runway is like I think the most um, easiest. I think is the easiest AI generation tool, and it has a lot of features. So it can expose you to so many ways you can use AI in your work. So I think Runway is one I would recommend.
Fantastic. Right, listen, we're gonna have to wrap it up because I know that we have our next guest waiting backstage. So we're gonna kind of wrap it up here. John, I'd love to invite you back to give you. I'd love to have this conversation in a full hour and really give people an opportunity to interact and ask questions. So please make sure you send samples of your work and stuff like that. And let's invite you
Yeah.
back kind of in the next couple of. Let's get you back soon. Do you know what I mean? So we can continue this conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Lily, I can see. Oh, Natty, you've joined us now, but unfortunately, we're going to jump off because we're going to start in a minute, and I know that our
Oh, is
last
it too
person.
late? All right, then no worries, no worries.
But thanks so much, John, for joining us. That was brilliant and gave us a nice whistle stop tour of the kind of possibilities that exist within AI. John, I will speak to you soon. Guys, I'll see you in a minute on the other side. I'll see you in a minute at 4 o'clock, where we'll be talking all things on how you can be mastering and upscaling your networking skills.